Hi.
All right.
Afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're watching the world, thank you for joining Back of the Net. It's the Matchday Preview Show with myself, Sam Davis.
And me, Tom Jordan.
If you're brand new here, you could do one of three things. The first would be to press the subscribe button and help support us. That'd be really appreciated.
And while you're at it, hit that like button as well, because that gets out to more people, so really appreciate that. That'd be great. And then there's that little bell, mate. You click that, and you don't even have to worry about if they got a video out. It'll tell you. So, yeah. Keep doing it. We love it.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Thanks so much for all of your comments over the weekend for the content that we've been putting out. And look, it was quite a hard week, I thought, being an AFC Bournemouth fan, especially Wednesday onwards, mate. But a chance to renew, to refresh, to revitalise. Can you believe that you've had all of your matches in your age of 30, mate?
I have. I know. This one, the West Ham game, I will be 31 on that day. So, yeah, not a great way to end my 30th by losing to Southampton, to be honest. But, yeah, at least we can't lose the unbeaten run on my birthday. But, yeah, no, weird one, mate. So, yeah, feeling a bit older. Been a little bit... I need an away day just to feel young. So I'm looking forward to this one.
So that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, it's a preview show. On this show... so much content, it's unbelievable, and Tom here is pretty much doing it without any script, so apologies if it's all wrong, but this is what's happening. We're going to give our thoughts on West Ham and how they have done this season, our honest and brutal thoughts. We'll also take in some opinion from them and the media about what they think of AFC Bournemouth and this fixture. Also, we're going to do some housekeeping, check out the team news, see what's going on, who's injured, who's not, who's available for the Hammers, and then Tom here is going to predict both teams.
Got the opposition right last time.
You did.
Southampton. I'm struggling with us, to be honest, but I'm doing a little bit better on the opposition, so we'll see. But I always think it's harder when there's been midweek fixtures because you don't know about the rotation. So I'll give it a go, mate.
So 2,000 odd Cherries will be travelling to the capital, and if you can't watch it, then you can watch it on Monday Night Football. And the best place to watch the games is where, Tom?
I would probably go to a pub, but I'd make sure it was a Greene King one.
Because they show every major sporting spectacle shown on Sky Sports,
they do,
on BT and Amazon. And if you're in and around the local area, mate, plenty of Greene Kings to go to, right?
Loads, mate, absolutely loads. So yeah, if you can't go up to West Ham, get into a Greene King pub. You got the Westbourne. Should we do like one? Let's play a little game, like the Westbourne. Go.
Richmond Arms,
Antelope,
Brunswick,
Jolly Sailor,
Commodore,
Broadway,
Spyglass and Kettle.
Oh no, I'm struggling. What's another one? What's the other one? Churchill. Get in there. Come on. But that just shows how many there are. Oh, have you thought of another one?
Yeah, it's too late now.
No, it's out. No, you mentioned them.
I can't remember actually.
No, but there is so many, as you've seen there, and yeah, and when you go in there, go on your little app store.
What? On your
phone? Yeah.
What? So, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, go on, I'll show it.
Yeah.
Season ticket app. I mean, you can just type in Greene King on the App Store, it'll come up, but there's two, and you click on the season ticket app. You get that, and then, mate, the possibilities are endless.
Well, so you got to sign up.
Yeah. Make sure you sign up.
Promotional code.
Yeah, what you want to do there is go, right, who told me to come here? Oh, it was Back in the Net, wasn't it? That's BOTN. Whack that in. Free drink.
What?
Free drink of your choice. You can have a soft drink. Okay, I'm always on the soft drinks, aren't I? Yeah, right. But you can have a pint as well. You can have whatever you want, and yeah, there's so many good offers once you've put in that code. Just put in the code first, and then just have a look.
Free welcome drink. So yeah, you'll also get an offer of £5 off and £15 spend. Yep. And what's handy about it is that once you activate your account, there's an offers section. Just flash the QR code to the member of staff. If not, there is a little coupon code that you copy into the Greene King app, put it in there, it deducts the value of that, and then they'll deliver it to your table. But look, you get 10% off drinks before, after, and during a game for an hour. Before, after, and during a game, you've got your booking functionality to secure your table on there, instant prizes within the app as well, and it's all free.
It's amazing,
ridiculous. And your free welcome drink, as Tom said. All you got to do is just type Greene King, wouldn't he? Greene King season ticket on your app store and download the app. If you can't make it to a game, mate, where should they go to?
Go to a Greene King pub, mate. It's the home of pub sport.
That's where the fans go. But the Bournemouth fans, most Bournemouth fans, will be at the London Stadium on Monday night, mate. Do we need to bring our binoculars? Is that joke done now?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see later on when we do our away day show how it gets on. But I think also the fact that Upton Park was so bloody good. I'm not a massive fan of this, but listen, I'm looking forward to the game. It's not too far. It's my birthday. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good game. We're both very, very close in the table. I think we are next to each other.
Yeah.
We're above them though. Is that alphabetical? No. Can't be goal difference. We must be a point ahead. Yeah, cut the points ahead of them, aren't we? But it's not my favourite stadium, but hopefully we've done okay at West Ham, whichever stadium it is. It feels like we've done okay. It feels like it's always up and down. So I think it's a real tight one, mate.
How do you think West Ham fans feel about David Moyes? Because this is his second spell in charge at West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think first time he was definitely David Moyes, then he turned to David Moyes. They loved what they were seeing. And he's got a bit of credit in the bank now, hasn't he? I mean, he took him to Europe, done really well in Europe. He managed to keep hold of people like Declan Rice. I think he's made some good additions. So, yeah, they haven't started brilliantly, but they've got Europe to contend with, and I think they're going in the right direction, mate, and I certainly think he's got enough credit in the bank. So
when you say new additions, what kind of business have they been doing over the summer, mate? Because they have got a number of players in, haven't they?
They have. Not all of them have settled in yet. Quite a few from abroad. Paqueta, Brazilian, come in. So he's going to be a good player for him, but still early days for him. Acclimatising to the Premier League. Skamaka.
He came from Serie A, didn't he?
Skamaka was really high for. I think Arsenal were linked for a while, and he does well for Italy and stuff. So he's going to be a real handful, and they needed to take the burden off Antonio as well. So he's got a few goals from already. He'll be a handful. I think they got a few centre halves in Kerr. I think it was Agwood or someone like that. And then they brought in Cornet. I know that from Burnley. I don't think he's quite hit the ground running yet.
Max Cornet.
Yeah, I think he might even be out injured. And then they got the youngster Flynn Downs in from, I think it's Swansea, who was quite highly rated. I think we were linked with him a few times in the Championship. And they also got Emerson, who was used to be at Chelsea, actually. But, not played loads of games. But they've added to that squad, which I think they needed to. They lost a few players. Obviously, one of them was Ryan Fredericks.
Ryan Fredericks, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then, Diop, who scored against us the other week for Fulham.
Fulham, yeah.
So they've lost a few players, but I feel like...
Yarmolenko?
Yeah, so players like that they've lost, but they've definitely upgraded. Masuaku as well. They were okay, but I think they've upgraded with the signings they've brought in. So they've got a stronger squad, I think. Definitely.
And this season, then, I mean, they started off with Man City at home, which which is always going to be a tough ask. They lost 2-0 there, but then
it's almost a win, isn't it?
One of the matches that I think they would have been targeting 3 points was Forest away, which is their second match, and they lost that 1-0.
Especially with how Forest were starting. I mean, I do remember watching that game and thinking, God, Forest were lucky.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can see that since, because Forest have been so poor. They were lucky. I feel like there was a VAR call that went against them, or a goal disallowed or something. West Ham were unlucky, but yeah, that was one they would have wanted to do better. But they picked up a little bit after. I think they lost another one.
They did. They lost at home to Brighton.
That's right.
And, at that point, you're sort of wondering, blimey, they're
going to be in the mix.
At the bottom, Leicester at the bottom, but you sort of knew it wasn't going to last forever, did it? And they eventually got their first win against Aston Villa, but they managed to get a point at home against Spurs. They did lose to Chelsea, but lost to Everton 1-0.
Yeah, I think that's one of that. Yeah, definitely indifferent. I think.
However,
I think the win against Fulham was big.
Yeah.
Which I think might be the next one.
Yeah, 2-0 win against Wolves as well.
Oh yeah, of course. The Fulham win was big. I remember thinking the point against Tottenham they were decent as well. And yeah, most recently they lost 1-0 at Anfield, which we certainly can't comment on losing by a goal at Anfield. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of them. They've been consistently inconsistent, haven't they? But I think they're still acclimatising, like you say, with them new signings just coming in, and they've had they've actually done well in their European games, and they've got to contend with that on them Thursday night games. And I think once the squad gets used to that a little bit and these new players kind of adapt a little bit more, I think they'll be absolutely fine. I would still say mid-table for West Ham quite comfortably, and I think they might do all right in that European competition. I think they're quite strong. So, yeah, it's been up and down, but they'll certainly be targeting Bournemouth at home to bounce back with a win for sure, mate.
So, in terms of their formation, do you know what sort of formation they tend to play?
It tends to be, I mean, it depends, because you can look at it in different ways, because Bowen likes to join, kind of with them runs. He kind of does, it reminds me of what Sterling does with Kane in England a lot of the time, and he gets up and beyond, whether it be Skamaka or Antonio. They tend to kind of go 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, that sort of thing. Probably mostly similar to us. We have gone to a back three at times, as they have. I know I think it might have been a Southampton game, they went to a back three. But then I think at Liverpool, they went back to a 4. So yeah, they do probably very similar to us, actually. They do. Yeah. They have got a lot of flexibility in there, which is going to make it very difficult for me to try and pick their team.
But are they making 5 different formational changes throughout the game like we did against them?
Not really. I think they've just, particularly at the back, they've got kind of fullbacks. I'm not sure if Kufau's available, but they've been playing Johnson, and then they've got Crespo on that left side, and they're both fullbacks that can quite comfortably play at centre half. A bit like we have with like Smith can easily tuck in. So I think they have that, which means they can be flexible throughout a game. Mentioned about Bowen, he can get higher up the pitch if needs be. I think people like Fornals, he can play central, he can pull off to the left-hand side. So they've got a lot of flexibility there, so it's going to be quite hard to predict formation, rather than, even if I get the personnel right, it wouldn't shock me if I got the formation right, because they do mix it up a little bit. They'll keep us guessing, mate, and we'll probably do the same to them, actually.
They're a side that we've had a varying level of success against, actually.
Yeah, I feel like we've done all right.
The Premier, I mean, we didn't play them before the Premier League, 2015. Last time we played them was in the League Cup. That was back in 1999. I remember going to that at Upton Park.
Yeah, I don't know.
We lost 2-0. Before that, it was a League Division 2 fixture in 1990. But since 2015 in the Premier League, we've played them a number of times. The most notable of which was at Upton Park in that 4-3.
Okay.
Absolutely phenomenal. And when I'm looking through this list, you can see it on screen now, there's a lot of goals, mate, in Bournemouth West Ham games. We're talking about a 3-1 to them, a 1-0 to them, a 3-2 to us. I think it was a Josh King hat-trick. A 3-all at home.
That was on Boxing Day, that 3-all at home.
Yes, it was.
I remember that. That was a cracker. And that was the one, Callum Wilson, the touch of magic with his hand.
Oh, yeah. Touch of magic.
But yeah, just like you're saying, loads of goals. And that other one sticks out to me. It just reminded me then when the Josh King hat-trick. Because we missed 2 penalties in that game.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
The mental game. But yeah, it does feel like we've played West Ham. They've always been bonkers games.
Yeah.
And we've been smashed. I think we got smashed there, didn't we, last time we played them?
Yeah,
we went
last
down.
time 4-0.
Yeah, we were awful.
At the London Stadium. That was on New Year's Day, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that was Mark Noble, Haller. Mark Noble actually scored from the penalty spot as well, and Felipe Anderson.
Oh, none of them are there, so that's all right.
In a tawdry performance from the
Yes.
Cherries. We were absolutely ropey. Of course, that was the COVID season, but that was a really, really bad one. And you know what? I think Bournemouth, around that Christmas time, I think around then, we beat Chelsea with that 1-0 Dan Gosling VAR goal.
Yeah.
And then there was a real feel-good feeling, and then that just,
It's a weird one.
plummeted.
I think when you talk to... If you talk to most of us Bournemouth fans since that kind of rise, if you like, since 2015, a lot of people say favourite away day. A lot of people will go West Ham, Upton Park. So West Ham always get mentioned there. And I think if you think that relegation season, I think that West Ham away 4-0 defeat that you just spoke, that was where it felt at the moment like we ain't going to stay up.
Yeah.
It really felt like we were absolutely awful. West Ham wiped the floor of us. So yeah, I feel like the first, saying about a lot of goals, but I feel like the first time I definitely went to the new stadium, it's not that new now. We lost 1-0 and Ariata got sent off. I think it was Antonio. I remember that one as well. So, yeah, differing kind of things when we play West Ham. But it always feels like they've been, apart from that 4-0, quite competitive games. Yeah. So, yeah, I am looking forward to it, albeit I wish it was Upton Park, but I'm sure most of the West Ham fans would agree with that.
Do you think they're quite a likeable team? I think they are.
Definitely. I actually met some West Ham fans after that 3-2 Josh King hat-trick. I met a few West Ham fans after the game, and I've kept in touch with them a bit since. Really nice bunch. And I think West Ham, they're a lot of people's second team, unless you're a rival with them and you're in London or whatever.
I think I've said this before, that in London they've got the biggest amount of season tickets of any London club. Something like that.
They're just quite easy. I can't imagine any, particularly a Bournemouth fan, not wanting them to do well in Europe, for example. I want them to go all the way. I felt like last season I was almost like supporting them in Europe. Yeah. So I think it also helps that Moyes has ended up, it's kind of been that story of you thought, he's never going to be good enough, and he's come in, and that's really nice to see. And Declan Rice, everyone loves him in an England shirt. I think everyone likes Declan Rice, so I think that helps him. I think Antonio's likeable, so yeah, they've got a lot of things to like there.
Do you think they're a big club, but without the mentality of being a big club? Because
maybe.
You get the impression with Arsenal and Spurs that they think they're a big club, but with West Ham, we know they are, but I don't think they're fans. I don't think it's almost inbuilt into their culture to think that they're a big club, if that makes any sense. There's a fair bit of humility there, I think. Yeah,
I think the problem they have is, because from a ball perspective, I always see West Ham as like a big Premier League, a football club. But when you're in London and you're competing with Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, they've normally got better players on the pitch, and that's the way it's been. They've certainly been trying to catch up lately, but with the money that's in football, particularly with them 3 clubs, it's difficult for them. But I certainly think they're getting that likeable team back again. I think they've had a few years where they probably haven't liked their team as much watching them, and they've been a bit turgid. But of late and since Moisey come back, they've been really good to watch, mate. Some really good combinations in there. I mentioned Rice, Souček's very likeable as well. They've got some really good players, so they're quite a good team to watch now, which I don't think they've had for a few years.
Do you know my favourite match against West Ham United?
I was going to say the 4-3 at Upton Park, but
The Betway Cup.
come on,
Betway Cup champions.
You'll never see that. They don't even remember it, do they?
They have actually won the Betway Cup now.
Mm.
They have won it.
Were we not in it?
Like, it's funny, they did this. It's weird just to have like Betway Cup just for one friendly for commercial purposes, of course, before the start of the season. But for the first couple of years or few years, they didn't even win their own trophy. But they have finally won a Betway Cup. But that was in the start of our first Eddie Howler season, and we're thinking, these guys, we could rip the league apart. We
Didn't score a lot.
5-3.
Crazy. 5-3. Do you remember we had in goal, by the way? A little quiz question.
Archer.
That's it.
Oh,
yeah, Jordan Archer.
Sorry, yeah.
And I think that was his only game he ever played for us.
It was, yeah.
But yeah, that was...
Jay Nancy scored.
Yeah, and that's when we thought, he could be coming for... I mean...
Danjuma.
Oh, the glory of the Betway Cup year.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What a moment. Last trophy we've won, and it was really nice to lift the trophy there, mate. I think it was Goslin was captain on the day, wasn't he?
It was.
Yeah, so...
Great days.
I can't wait for Betway Cup champions. Chance going off. Love it. But yeah, I've completely forgot about that, mate. Nice little memory of silverware there.
So that's our thoughts about West Ham.
And the Betway Cup.
We've been trawling through YouTube to try to find out their opinions on us and the game. How are they feeling? Let's find out.
It's always a bit of a mixed game. The record's fairly even. 6 wins, 5 wins either way, draws in the middle. They're currently sitting in 13th. They're having an okay season, considering they sacked Scotty Parker, one of my favourite West Ham players of yesteryears. They've done well since he's gone. Gary O'Neill, a man who also played 56 times for West Ham with 3 goals, has taken over, and he's done well. He only lost his first game against Southampton. Listed as strengths, he's coming from behind. When they do go behind, they have the character to get back into games, and protecting leads. If they do take the lead, they can be hard to break down. That 3 becomes a 5.
My instincts on this is the fact that, as I said for the Patrons, Fredericks is bound to start, as is Stanislas. I'm sure he is. I mean, I didn't mention Stanislas in the start 11 because a lot of the time he comes off the bench. But yeah, we've got to keep an eye out for those former. I was about to say those former employees, then those former Hammers. We really, really do.
In many respects, what they've done is absolutely remarkable to get to where they have. They've got new ownership, American ownership, which is slightly worrying from my own point of view, for reasons we'll go on to on a different day. But I think we're sort of might get towards those 14 American owners, and then you might see the shape of the Premier League changing quite drastically. But as I say, a video for another day. I love Bournemouth, probably my second favourite team, and I'll tell you why. I've been regular watchers of this channel. When I was 13, I moved from Ilford, and we moved to Boscombe, which is basically it's in Bournemouth. So I used to all my friends in my new school were all Bournemouth fans. It was 10 minutes away from the ground, so I got used to get dragged along to Bournemouth. Nice club, really lovely club. Harry Redknapp was in charge, actually. Ian Bishop played in midfield. So there's a lot to love about Bournemouth. I really like that club. I think what they're doing now is fantastic. Back up in the top flight, of course, again. I thought got rid of Scott Parker, didn't they? And I thought that was maybe a little bit harsh. I understand they'd taken a bit of a tonking.
We should be beating these lot, we should be beating Bournemouth. They're a side that, yes, have had a good start to the season until they lost to Southampton last week. They have been unbeaten under Gary O'Neill, the former West Ham player, since they sacked former West Ham player Scott Parker a few weeks ago. So, they are on a good run of form, but they did play really poorly last week against Southampton. So that's something to take into consideration. But of course, we're not on the best run of form either, are we? We haven't been great. We haven't really hit the heights that you'd expect us to hit.
O'Neill's come in. I know they didn't do so well in the last game, but that's a big game, right? It was Southampton the last game, wasn't it? That's a big game down there. Having lived down there, it's a big game for Bournemouth. Southampton's sort of a bit more focused on Portsmouth. But it is a big game, so I think that game being a derby, a local derby, South Coast derby, can swing either way. But O'Neill's done very, very well indeed, and I just wonder if the new owner might be changing his mind. There's no way when somebody buys into a football club and pays big money for it that they think, oh, I'm gonna go in there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go and get me a caretaker manager, and I'm going to make him permanent.
Yeah, for all of the video you've just seen, check the description out because there's a load of links where you can go and subscribe to some brilliant channels there, some predictions for good measure. Love hearing what other fans say about this fixture. I think most people are expecting a home win, aren't they, mate? But,
yeah.
You know, it's one that we might be able to upset them.
It's one of them, yeah. I think most people would predict a home win, but would it shock people if we went there and nicked a point? I don't think so. No. O'Neill, we have to now change the narrative, but O'Neill hasn't lost away from home as Bournemouth manager. But yeah, I think we could be quite a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
And I think we could easily nick something on the counter-attack. And so, yeah, even though I think West Ham are going to be clear favourites, and should be, if it was a 1-1 draw, I don't think anyone would be shocked either. So, yeah, let's try and... I remember going to, like, Newcastle, for example. I think it was our last away game. And before Fulham, wasn't it? And which we drew as well. But the Newcastle one, I remember everyone going, this should be a comfortable home win. And we went there and comfortably nicked a point. So I think we can cause a little bit of a surprise, but they are certainly favourites.
After the Saints game, mate, I mean, have we got any new injury concerns?
It doesn't seem that way. It seems like we're as we were from the Southampton game. So that's people like Stanislas, obviously ex-West Ham. Is just coming back now, so he'll probably be in the squad. Would have thought he'd be on the bench. And Rothwell seems to have come for okay, and Ben Pearson as well. So I think it's just as we were really with Lloyd Kelly still out. We're still not sure on how long that'll be. But yeah, we seem like we're kind of as we were from the week, mate. Which is we've got to take that, haven't we?
Yeah, and in terms of the West Ham team news, David Moyes, he says that both Max Cornet and Craig Dawson, they got an outside chance of featuring. He said that the Ivory Coast international's back working on the training pitches after recovering from a calf problem, whereas Dawson, he's hoping to return to action after being forced off in the Conference League win over Anderlecht. Also, he gave an update on Lucas Paqueta as well. After the Brazilian, he missed Wednesday's match at Liverpool with an upper body injury that he suffered at Southampton the game previous. He said that we don't think his injury is serious as they feared at first. He said, I know that the injury is one that is not normal for football players. From that point of view, we need to treat it slightly different. Hopefully, we'll get him back shortly.
I think that would make me suggest he's probably going to come too soon for him, which I think is a positive for us. Obviously not for West Ham, but I think he's a good player. And yeah, Cornet and Dawson as well, it kind of feels like they might be in the squad, but I don't think any of them will start, which is probably a little bit of a promising one for us. But they've got good enough players, mate. Now I've got good enough players.
Okay, so this fixture is going to be live on Sky Sports, and you know when it's M&F, mate, they do the whole on-screen graphics treatment. That's what we're going to do right now as you choose your teams, mate. So are you ready to see some M&F goodness on back of the net?
Give it me, mate. Give it me.
Here we go.
Look at that.
You cannot say
Cheers, Nev.
we do not raise the bar in terms of our graphics. There we go then. There's the pitch. And Tom, we'll start actually with West Ham, considering they are the home team, mate. And whilst they did go 3 at the back against Saints, are you expecting them to revert to a 4? I
am, yeah. As I kind of mentioned at the start of the video, is they can be quite flexible with the players they've got. But I do think they'll start with a 4. I think Fabianski will obviously be in goal. Yeah. I know they got Areola in on a permanent, but he's still their number 1, Fabianski. I'm going to go Johnson at right back. I'm not sure on the situation with Kufal, but Johnson's been doing quite well. So I think he'll start at right back. I'm going to go with Kurt Zuma, Meow, and Kera as the centre-halves. Yeah. I think Kera's come in and done a decent job for him. And then Cresswell at left back, who all I remember is, you remember that Upton Park game? He had a torrid time. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm hoping he'll have another bad one against us. But I think that'll be the back 4. I'm going to go for kind of 2 sat in front, kind of a 4-2-3-1 really. So Souček and Rice will be the deeper 2. Decent. And that's solid. And then that 3 in front, I think that's very flexible. I think Bone will be out on the right. And then you can, I reckon they're going to, I think Fornals will probably be a little bit more central. And Ben Rama will be in there. So them two can switch a lot with who's in the kind of 10 and who's out wide. But I think Ben Rama didn't play in the last one, but I think he might come back in. I think he's a good player. and I think they'll just go with Skamaka over Antonio up top. But so they're going to have some good options on the bench, mate, because I haven't predicted Antonio playing there, so
strong.
He's always a good option for him, and Cornet may be back. So yeah, but that's what I'm going to go for. But I'm not 100% on that one. As I say, they can be quite flexible.
Strong. Okay, in terms of Bournemouth, then this is what I'm obviously intrigued by. I think
I keep getting it wrong.
There is kind of what we want versus what we expect, and I don't know which way you want to do this, mate, but obviously there are some players that we felt should have been involved on Wednesday and they weren't, or at least played in the positions, like natural positions that they should be. But go on, explain this one.
Give it a go, shall I? I've been having this. I'm going to go with it. You know when you have this like feeling, you have this weird feeling where you think, I've just got this funny feeling that he's going to put such and such in that's going to surprise everyone.
Yeah.
And I've got one of them, and I'm just going to go for it in a minute. All right. I still think Neto will be in goal.
Okay.
So Neto starting goal. I'm going to go, like I say, we're very similar, that we can mix up the formation as we do. But I'll start with what I think is going to be kind of a free, which will be Adam Smith, right centre back.
Yeah.
I think he'll start there. Mepham and Senesi.
Yeah.
As a back three. I think on the left side, I think he's almost going to start with Tavernier as a left wing back, which he kind of has been recently. And this is I know it's against the old club, but Fredericks looked dead on his feet in the last game.
Yeah.
I would probably think, we just put Smith over there and bring Zamora in. I've just got this weird feeling, don't ask me why, Jack Stacey's going to start.
Really?
I don't know why. If I'm right, I'm like a genius. And if I didn't say it, and then I told you that that's what I was thinking, so we would have predicted. So very unlikely, but for some weird reason, I just think Fredericks didn't look right in the last game. And I think he likes Smith being a little bit more inside.
Stacey did well when he came on.
He's done well under O'Neill when he's come on. He likes Smith, I think, to have that flexibility of coming inside. I feel like he's quite comfortable with Tavernier being on. So I got this weird feeling that Stacey, so I'm just going to go for it. Okay. So I'm going to go Stacey right wing back. I'm going to put Lewis Cook and Jefferson Lammer in the middle. Yeah. They'll be the two in the middle. And then the two in front, so it's kind of going to be a box, not going to be too wide, will be Christie and Billing. Yeah. With Dom Solanke up front. That's how I feel we're going to go. Would that be what I picked? Probably not. Like I say, I would quite like to see maybe go back to kind of a Jay-Z and Anthony, which I predicted in the last game, which didn't happen. And obviously we've got Rothwell and Stanislas coming back. I still don't think they'll quite be ready to start though. So yeah, I keep getting it wrong when I go quite safe. So I'm going to go out there, and if I'm going to be one off for Stacey now, I know I am. But worth a go, and I think we've just got to look at the fact that I didn't think Fredericks looked quite right in the last game. So we might have two ex-Hammers on the bench, mate, in Fredericks and Stanislas. So that'd be interesting to see if they come on and make a difference.
Do you think Tom's right?
No.
Let us know. Let us know. But also, we want your predictions as well.
No.
Look, put your predictions in the comments. We read every single one. But before you do that, make sure you hit the like button first. I bet you haven't done it yet, have you? Make sure you do. But yeah, really interested to hear your score predictions. And Tom, I need one from you, mate. Is it going to be a birthday win, a birthday draw, or a birthday defeat?
I will be 31 on Monday, which is 3-1.
So it's going to be 31-0. Mate, you're off your nagel.
I'll take 3-1. I think I'm going to go 3-1. I was going to go 1-0 Bournemouth, but because of that, I'm just going to go 3-1 Bournemouth. I mean, if we score 3 away at West Ham, we'll be very happy. But I don't know why. I remember saying to you I was a little bit worried about Southampton game. For some reason, I've just got... feels a little bit like the Newcastle one. I know, granted, we only drew that game. But a lot of people, we've even said at this video, think bank a home win. Yeah. I feel like we might be able to spoil the party a little bit. So I'm going to go for us to nick it, and I'll go 3-1.
2-1. 2-1 Bournemouth. There you go. You heard it here first. Look, we are Bournemouth fans, so we're giving a Bournemouth perspective. West Ham fans,
I'll take a draw.
If you're watching this, West Ham fans, here's the back of the net treatment. This is what we do. So you've just watched the preview show, right? Okay.
Yep.
We'll also be outside the London Stadium after the game, getting raw opinions from Cherries fans. But I've got to say that you're more than welcome to come on to give your view as well. Also, we've got a second look video where we review the game in depth. Also, an away day review as well, which includes us talking about the whole day, plus our match day vlog, which gives you a raw insight into this guy's antics as he turns 31. Going up on the train, back on the megabus. Oh. It can only be carnage, surely.
Megabus.
Can't wait. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. Hope the weather tomorrow is better than it is today, because it's not looking too nice. Ugh. Disgusting. Thanks for watching. Other Cherries.
Other Cherries. I keep thinking about the megabus.